Now it is being recorded.
Yes,
Yes.
it's recording.
Okay, okay. Because I just clicked on it, it says now. Anyways, if it's recording, that's good. So when you launch the Beanstalk environment, it will, it will choose what kind of environment that you want to create. Do you want an HTTP based application or an HTTPS based application or a web browser kind of environment? Is it a web server tier or a worker tier? What do you want, right? That's what it asks for. Let's just give it a name here, my web app, yeah. And then it simply says, okay, what do you want to code with? What kind of a developer are you? Are you a PHP developer or Python, Tomcat, Go seems to be another one, or are you doing with Dockers or multi-container Docker? Yeah. What is it that you actually want to do? Let's say you are, let's pick up something as I'm neither of these. Select PHP, and then application sample. If you have all of that built already, which is in the form of a zip file or a WAR file, you can upload that by selecting here. Amazon also gives a lot of um, sample codes in terms of Java sample codes, a lot of tutorials and samples within the Amazon documentation that you can pick up from for as far as sample code is concerned for Beanstalk or Tomcat with Java or whatever. Let's try to pull that up with one of these and say PHP, and I will use sample application that these guys give. Say create an application. And I'll say let's give that a shot. So as you see, it's creating all of that in the background, your services, your EC2 instances. If that needs a load balancer and everything, it's just getting that ready. It's creating that environment. See, it's putting all of that in the storage bucket because developers don't know what a storage bucket is. Giving training to them on the entire IT infrastructure will be kind of tough. So that's where people like us come into picture and create environments for them. But with Beanstalk, they don't even have to do that. But then eventually it will create those EC2 instances, it will create the bucket. You still have to write lifecycle policies. That is in the hands of system administrator for AWS, or called as sysops. So it got an elastic IP as well, which is 34, 195, 228, 120. While that is doing, I'm going to launch EC2 in another tab and also S3 in another tab to see if it's actually creating those things. Okay, my bucket is created. So it's pushing all of that sample code into it. So if you would have selected something else like um, Java or something, it would have pulled that up. Let me go to EC2 to see if it actually created an instance or something. I think it did. That's why it says one running. Okay, so you see that the instance is automatically deployed. So instance with my PHP code is already deployed here. It was created by AWS. This is new security group. Let's see what the inbound rules are. Okay, just port number 80. That means I cannot put it to it, right? Go to S3. There's one created here already, 509. Two of them, by the way. Oh, there's one in the east. So this belongs to us. The one in the west does not belong to us because we created this worker environment in North Virginia. So this is the one, and you will see your entire website posted here. Okay. It does take some time. So it has an endpoint as well. So let me click on it and see what I get. Okay, so my website is ready. You see that? So now I can download the SDKs for PHP. Anybody has a question? Okay, you can download the SDKs for PHP and go ahead and modify that and then push it into the Linux Amazon environment that was created. Now this is not done yet. You have a lot of options within this. This is not it. You can create a load balancer and also put some elasticity in it by doing auto scaling. We can do that as well. Let's wait for it to finish. All right, you see something, the health is okay, upload and deploy. You can still go ahead and upload and deploy your own content now, but because you don't have it, we created and selected this guy what we had. So it'll cancel. It's dependent on PHP. You can of course modify this. It's currently running on 64-bit instance of that. You can change it. There is a way you can change the um, what we call the vertical scaling part of it. Uh, let's see, look at the configuration. All right, so this is where infrastructure comes into picture. You see the auto scaling, at this time it is single instance, so you can edit this and set that up. It is single environment. You can put up load balancing and auto scaling here. You can say time based auto scaling, add that scheduled action, and you will be able to see how many instances, minimum, maximum, desired capacity should happen one time and what time should happen, auto scaling. So those things you can define here. That was about auto scaling. Um, Instances, yeah, this is what I was telling, that there is a way you can modify the machine's vertical scaling from T1 micro to anything else that's here. So this is simple front-end application, simple GUI. So the developers don't have to go through the hassles of creating the whole infrastructure. So this is something developers can of course manage. Now you see that your question may be, okay, it created an AWS instance here, but how do I log in? I don't even have the key pair file. Well, this is where you can select one key pair from here, and this picks it up from EC2 list, which I have here. Like, where is the key pairs? Do you see key pair somewhere? Events tag limits that. Hey, key pairs here. So I have the list here, and if I want a key pair specifically for our beanstalk key pair, I can use this as well specifically for that, and it downloads it, and then I'm ready for that. Or you can also choose an existing one if you have it, right? You can add more hard drives. This is really easy for the developers because it's all about giving them knowledge transfer about it. Now the best part is that they really don't need to have access on EC2. So when you're creating an identity and access management role for them, you can just give them customized permissions on Beanstalk, and they will be able to manage it from here. And his notifications is all about SNS, whether you want to get notified when certain changes happen. So it is integrated with SNS over there. Software configurations, logging is off, displaying errors, memory limit. Now these are more about performance optimization of your website, of the PHP. So even somebody who doesn't know PHP can modify these, because it's all about selecting a number over there based on what the web administrator is saying. Updates and deployments, they are currently disabled, But let's say Amazon wants to move on from PHP 7.7 to a new version that they have. You can select immutable. That way changes will be propagated to the existing environment. Whether you want it to get deployed only all at once or step by step, shared wise, you can do that. Health, again integrated with your SNS and CloudWatch. You can set that up, which put that load balancing side. Now currently we don't have load balancer over here. That's why it is all grayed out. At this moment it is checking the role of this particular link over there. There's so many custom metrics that will be integrated or absorbed into CloudWatch, and these are all the metrics: cloud, CPU wait time, CPU system, CPU user, etc. You can select that as well for monitoring the health. Okay, so cancel. The last part here is manage updates. Whether you want, how do you want to get the updates? Do you want it to be updated every Sunday, only during off business hours, or minor and patch? Minor means every version number has a major number and a minor version. So if you click on this operating system is Windows 7, but the version number is 6.1. So 6 is the major version, and 1 is the minor version. So every version has that. So even if I click on, let's say, Skype, I'll not use this now. It says Skype for Business. Click on Help and About Skype. It has a major version which is 7. Major version is 7. Minor version is 32.
Can you
Yeah, sorry. Repeat which one? Hello?
thank you.
Repeat which one? What do you want me to repeat? No? Ritvika, you had a question. Okay, so I've been asked to repeat from EC2 instances, which is from here, this part, right? This is the one that you want me to repeat from, right? Is that right? Or anything else? All right. So you understand about horizontal scaling. Now vertical scaling is also something that you can do with instances here. So when you click on that gear icon, the settings icon, you can modify the configuration of the EC2 instance that was automatically deployed using Beanstalk. So you can select in the drop down menu and select any one of those options to increase or reduce the capacity of that machine. You can log into that machine by selecting the particular key pair. So if that key pair is not created, you can go to EC2 and then go to network security key pair and create a new key pair for that instance, right? Monitoring interval, as you know, is by default it's for 5 minutes, but if you go for 1 minute, of course it's going to be in the billing cycle. And this is a custom AMI ID that's being pulled up. So these are the settings that the developer can easily do. He doesn't have to be trained, and all of these are self-explanatory. So he just gets a GUI kind of environment, a GUI, to modify the EC2 or the behavior of the EC2 very easily. That's what instances are for. Notifications. Now your Beanstalk is integrated with your SNS or simple notification services, where you will be getting notified about the Beanstalk events that are happening. And then there's software configuration. These are more about the performance objectives of the application itself. So if you would like the application that is running on your EC2 instance to be performing at its best, then you go ahead and modify some of these options. Of course, these are directed by, or this information is relayed by your application administrator. Okay, so that's what this is for, which is the logging and software configuration side. Updates and deployment. Would you like your environment to be updated? Like if you get a new update on the Linux machine that you have, or a new update on your PHP, or there's a new version of Java that's being deployed, do you want that to be updated or not? Right? So you have control over that as well. Health. So I would really like to monitor the health of the environment, specifically in terms of various aspects. So you got the basic health reporting. So AWS Beanstalk will use multiple sources to determine if your environment is available and it's reachable and is actually processing requests from the internet. This is a dashboard that you will get to figure that out. So you will also be able to see that in the monitoring section. Click on that and you will see various parameters of monitoring here. Of course, you can change them here by looking at the time range, period, 1 minute. You can edit it as well. So that's how it is. So it's more about monitoring in the form of various dashboards that you get. Let's see if you can customize that. Just say edit, and you can customize it more by based on auto scaling group or and environments, and then you get statistics based on that environment. There's nothing here right now. Okay, statistics is average. Let's say add. So now what you're getting is average disk bytes as well, which is good. You scroll down, you get graph for that. CPU, health, max, okay. So you can customize it based on your environment, CloudWatch metric, yeah, environment health, alright. So that ways you can keep on adding on your dashboard, and usually organizations will have, I told you about NOC, which is Network Operations Center. In the Network Operations Center, the employees or the engineers will be continuously looking at this information for the best metrics. Anything that they find outside of their regions, then an alert will be notified and they also start working on them. All of these things that you see in the configuration are also available over here on the left side. So what you see on the left side is no different from what you see in one single dashboard or this screen. Does all of it make sense to you? Is it okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, we saw just the front end part of it, right? Just the front end, which it was, kind of a plain, simple, static website which is there. But how about, if you want to connect it to a database, right? If you want to connect it to a database, what you have to do is create a second tier. The first tier is called as web tier. The second tier which you may want to create is a database tier. So it says you do not have a database. You can either create a new database or use an existing database, right? So again, you need to have your PHP skills or programming skills as to how you can connect the front end with the existing database. So you select that. Again, it lets you create a database as well. So this guy who's a web developer doesn't really have to be database administrator and an SQL administrator and a front-end guy and also load balancer guy. So there's a kind of deep documentation over here. Just launch DB and get that done. Yeah, that's how it is. Create a new RDS database. Yeah, select a snapshot. What kind of database do you want? Let's say Postgres. What version you want? How much of database you want to give? Storage, user ID and password. And you want to create in say delete. You want to create in multiple availability zones. Yeah. So complex words are not used here for the infrastructure people. It's more for development guys. So it does not say multi-AZ. It says multiple availability zones. So something that's easier for the developer to understand. Let's say apply then you will have your database created as well. So and then that will have its own, its own monitoring criteria, its own load balancing stuff. So right now it did not take my password, which is good in one way. Let's say apply. Uh, Anyways, go to configuration, go to create a new ODS database, snapshot. I don't have a snapshot. Use an existing database. I don't have an existing database anyways, so I have to create a new one. Yeah, that's that. No, right. Okay. Okay, I continue to get that error, so it's better using existing database. Anyways, I hope you got an idea about this. Um, it's mostly for developers who do not have proficiency in managing IT infrastructure and want a simple environment to push their code. You can manage your alarms as well. Let's say just go to alarms. Yeah, let's go to alarms. At this time I don't have any alarms defined. So you can add via graphs from the monitoring dashboard. Right, so it went there. Uh, you have not defined any alarms, so go there, and here you see this bell icon. This bell, let's work on the CPU. Click
Yes.
on this bell, and then I'll say add an alarm, CPU top, for a period of 1 minute when the average CPU utilization is greater than or equal to 40. This is not new to you. Change state after 2 minutes and notify somebody who's that. And of course you have subscribed to this topic. Notify when the state is okay. Say add. Now you will be able to see that in the alarm section. So I'll go to my alarms now. Okay, it's updating that. Okay, while that is updating it, I'll tell you about events. So events is you get an understanding of your entire infrastructure as to what has happened in the past. So event will show you the list of all the events that have been recorded for your application. What did you try to do? One thing that I want to tell you that all of this you can also do with your AWS CLI commandlets, right? You can do that from there as well with describe-events command. So the command will be AWS Elastic Beanstalk describe-events. So it's going to pull all of that. Yeah, so there's an extensive resource available on EBCLI. It's called as EBCLI. Uh, People don't say it EBS because they'll get confused with Elastic Block Storage. So this is EB, which is Elastic Beanstalk. So that those are all the events that you got, and you can of course move down, up and down to filter them based on what happened on the particular date. So mostly used for auditing purposes and who did what kind of thing. Tags is no different from what we have done in the past about tagging. Yeah. Does that help to understand what a beanstalk is?
Yeah.
So you don't pay anything for this
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
Elastic Beanstalk is free to use, but the resources that have been used in the background, if they are live, they are the ones that will be charged. So you incur the standard fees till the time terminate the whole thing. So yeah. There are various platforms that are supported in this one. You can use Tomcat, or there's a programming language or a web container language like Passenger, Puma, Java. Java is a programming language, not a web container language. Like PHP, Python, Ruby, Go, all of these are supported, and the list will continue as continue to increase as and when new technologies are introduced. So this is a whole stack. So it's a stack of programs that all of them can be pushed. So a developer is not limited to use one particular uh, programming language or a web interface. On the top right hand side, you will see actions which will let you do load configuration and save this configuration as well. So just in case if you want to modify the environment, you can modify that, but before that you save it. It is no different than saving a file. So you can see you're saving this environment. You can always go back to load configuration, and all the saved configurations will be listed over here. So you can push that back. In information technology and infrastructure, people call it a snapshot. So you can always revert back to the snapshot. In the background, it is actually taking the snapshot when you say save. Yeah. So that's how it is. Restart app servers. So all your EC2 instances will be restart just in case customers talk about hey, your web server is very slow and things like that. And then rebuild environment. You'll rebuild the environment right from the scratch. So any customizations will be lost. And terminate environment will get rid of all your infrastructure from EC2. Let's actually go there. Where is it? Yeah. So, okay. So you also have Elastic IP, which I will be of course charged for. This Elastic IP is linked up to the instance, which is 76 instance, and 76 instance is the one that is running and pushed by EB, which is Elastic, yeah, 76. So let's see if we have anything in the load balancers. I don't think so because we got just one machine. Auto scaling should be nothing. Okay. So you got something in the auto scaling as well. It created an auto scaler group. Then what load balancer? There's nothing in the load balancer. That's good. Let's go ahead and terminate this instance. I just clicked on that. It's doing its job now. So it should be shutting down all the instances that it created. It should be getting rid of the auto scaling policies as well. So being a graduate in computers, you will have some hands-on on Java, some hands-on on .NET, maybe on Node.js or PHP or Python or Ruby. You may be good at one of those technologies, or may also have an inclination to learn a particular technology. I'm specifically talking about web-based technologies or container-based technologies. So if you have that hold, then you can go into deployment of these as well. Just by going into AWS documentation. Let me actually pull that up for you. Doc start. Actually, it should be right there. Yeah, right here. So when I go there, there's tutorial and tutorials and samples. So let it finish. Okay, scroll down. There's all of these templates available. You can download this php.zip, and you can create your environment using that zip file. So you'll be uploading that zip file over there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's It's good. Any questions? You can have multiple environments running simultaneously. So if I click on all applications, it will tell me there's only one application now for now, but I can create, of course, a new application here and say that what kind of platform do I want? Say PHP, and let me download this actually and see what I get. Okay, the download is completed. PHP, let's see what's there inside that. Something index.php. This AWS logo as well. Okay, small one. Style sheets. Let's upload that and see what we get. Close this. Close all of this. Okay. Close that. Yeah. And I will upload my code, which is what I download. So I can upload it from S3 or wherever. Choose file. Downloads. PHP v1.zip. Right. Testing. Yeah. There is shot. It uploads to my S3 and unzips it there. It's done. Done. Okay. Create your environment. Okay. Doing something. Hey guys, any questions?
No.
Okay.
Can we use this
No.
for the existing instances?
Can you connect your existing
Yes,
instances?
I think.
The question is, can you connect your existing instances to this one, ELB?
Yeah, to while creating it. Yeah.
No, actually.
Okay.
Why?
There's no such option.
I mean,
There is no such option, but you can definitely do auto scaling by creating an image out of it and following the auto scaling process. You can do that. You can create an image out of it and do the auto scaling.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for the to get completed. This one is terminated. This one is still there. And it also has an endpoint created. Let me click on it and see what I get. Okay, it gave me the same thing. Yeah, so it's the same code over there. Anyways, are we good so far?
Yeah. Yes.
Have you tried playing around more with databases or with cloud formation? Any experiments on that?
Yeah, just created that WordPress and inbuilt already which are there. That I tried in cloud formation.
WordPress.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So if you have no questions, then we'll wrap up for the day, and tomorrow we'll look forward for another exciting session.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So what do we do tomorrow?
Uh,
Let's do some. We'll do DynamoDB. Yeah, you were asking.
We didn't get workmail and workspaces that video lecture.
Uh, you wanted the video, right? Recording for that.
Yeah,
recordings. Yeah.
video. Yeah, we didn't get that recording because
So
I missed
do
that
you have
class.
the
So
do you have the link to all of my videos?
no.
Nope.
There's a Google Drive link that I shared maybe initially.
Can you share it again, please?
You can search with my name in your email, and you'll get all of them. Check right now.
Okay.
Yeah, check right now so that we can fix it now rather than no post.
Yeah.
Check for that link. If you don't have it, I'll send it. Because I'm just looking at the permissions now as I speak to you, and it has permission. No.
No, not there.
No, it's
No, we
not
didn't
there.
get.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No problem.
Yes, sir.
Oh, say the last one, workspaces, directory, and workmail. It's right there. Okay. Please confirm if you got it now.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, we got it.
You got all the videos there?
Yeah, yes, still workspace is here.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you everybody. We'll see DynamoDB tomorrow and how we can get APIs involved in that, how we can connect through external gateways. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.